Okay, so today we're looking at slope point form. From any line, you will then be able to find a slope, and you'll be able to find some point. And you're going to put that into slope point form. From slope point form, you must be able to turn that into slope intercept form. So each line will have many slope point forms because there's points all along the line. There's a point here, 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 here. So there's like 10 equations right there. But every line will only have one slope intercept form. And it will always be the same no matter what point you choose and start with. Okay? It's kind of like magic, except it's math. So what we have here is we have our slope point form where we have a point x1, comma, y1. Now where they fit into the equation is the x's go at the back of the equation and your y's go at the front of the equation. These always must be a subtraction. It must be a subtraction. And what happens if it's not a subtraction? What does that mean? Well, if you looked at the board and how we started, if we have y plus 2, that's probably because it came from y minus negative 2. Okay, so watch out for that. Or if we have x plus 9, that probably came from x minus negative 9. Okay, and that's the hardest part with what we're doing today. So let's practice. Here we have our equation, y minus 7, da 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 da. What's the slope? Yep. Exactly. It's right where the m should be. Here's your m. It's right there. Negative 1/3. Okay. What's the point, though? What's your y value? Your y is 7. But what should this really be? X minus negative 4. So your x value is negative 4. Now that's weird, right? Because it's different than what you're actually seeing, but that's the way the equation works. It's different than what we looked at yesterday, because if we have y mx plus b, the sign told us the value for b. Not so today. Okay, it's different. So a lot of your homework questions, you're just going to be like this. A is like the beginning questions. What's the slope? What's the point? Can you actually recognize it? Okay, then you move on. Now I give you the slope and I give you the point and you make the equation. Okay, so we start with slope point. And then you use algebra to change it into slope intercept. And that's what most of the work is going to be on, is algebra work, changing the form. So let's start. Y minus y1 equals mx minus x1. Do you guys know where this came from? Have you seen this before somewhere? What if we, no, just don't write this down, but what if we move this to the other side? Y minus y1 over x minus x1 equals m. That's your slope equation, right? That's all I've done there. Okay, don't need to know that. Continuing on. So substitute in. What's y minus equals blank x minus? What goes right here for m? 4/3. So write 4/3 down right there. What goes right here for your x value from the point given? 3. Oh, it's not negative 3, it's a plus 3. But the subtraction sign must be there. Okay. Good. This is a subtraction, but what's the value of the point that we must write there? 1. Okay. So we're just taking the 3, putting it in for x, taking the 1, putting it in for y1. Okay. Good. Multiply now. We got to get rid of brackets. So multiply this out, and you get y minus 1 equals 4/3 times x minus 3 times 4/3. Now, I really don't want you writing that down. I want you to do the work in your head. Let's cancel first. What's 3 divided by 3? Cancels to 1 and 1. So really, you should have written down y minus 1, 4/3 x minus 4. You need to be able to do that. What's the last step? Instead of minus 1 on the left, we should move it by adding 1. So y equals 4/3 x minus 3. 4/3 x minus 3. Okay, questions? Any questions about what we did, how we started? You sure? It's a lot of work we did. Okay. All right, let's do the next one then. So now, you're going to do just like we did up above, but instead of telling you the slope, I'm going to make you calculate it. So the first thing you're going to do here is find m. Then it's exactly like the one up above. It's the only difference. So, find m. M is going to equal what? 4 minus 1 minus 4 minus what? Negative 2. 1 minus 4. So 4 plus 2 is 6. 1 minus 4 is negative 3. Negative 2. Okay. So sometimes your slope will be a fraction, sometimes it's a whole number. So let's try this over here. Y minus y1 equals mx minus x1. Okay. Substitute in, please. Which point do you want to use? The first one or the second one? Does it matter? Not one bit. So someone has to choose. Who wants to choose? First one? Okay, Marisa says the first one. Done. So we're going to use this one. So y minus what? 4 equals negative 2 x minus 1. What's the first step, Pravi? Take the negative 2 and multiply in. Okay. So y minus 4 equals negative 2x plus 2. And this one's super easy. How do you get rid of the minus 4 on the left? Plus 4. So negative 2x plus 6. Okay. Now you don't have to write this next part down, but y minus 2 equals negative 2x minus 4. I'm going to choose this point and see what happens. Y plus 2 equals negative 2x plus 8. And then I have to minus 2, negative 2x plus 6. So, guess what? Does it matter which point we use? Nope. They're both the same. Okay, both the same. Always works. Okay. All right, next question. Is there any difference between these two questions, single I and double I? Pretty much none. All you got to do, though, is find the points values first. So go ahead, find the values of those points. Okay, so there's the points. Find your slope first by doing a subtraction. Let me get something wrong here. Okay, did anyone else get 1/5? Okay, good. So now you use your slope your slope point. So y minus y1 equals m bracket x minus x1. Okay, so substitute in which point do you guys want to work with, the first or the second one? Sabrina, you choose. Sure, sounds good. So we're going to use that one. So y minus -4 equals 1/5 x minus -6. Okay. So first step is I would fix your signs. And so you should get a +4 and a +6. Okay. So then multiply it together. Get rid of your brackets. 1/5 times x plus, what's 6 times 1/5? Well, 1/5 times 6 would be 6/5. Right? 6 times 1 is 6.
You don't have to multiply it on the bottom?
No, it's dividing the bottom. It's a fraction. So divide by 5. Okay, they don't cancel at all. Okay. Good. So move the 4 over. Y equals 1/5 x plus 6/5. And what do we do with the +4 in order to move it? -4. So now, when we're working with fractions, what do we need? Add, subtract. We need a common denominator. So this should be over 1. So y equals 1/5 x plus 6/5 minus 20/5. So -14/5 is your answer. Done. And this is why we always use this for every line, because if we're crossing the x-axis, if it's in between a line, we get a fraction. We would know what it is. And that's why we use slope point equations. Okay. Any questions? Turn it over, more of the same. So tell me, what's the slope? What's the point? So we're parallel to that line. What does that mean? What kind of slopes do parallel lines have? The same slope. So the slope of the line that we're trying to find must be 3/4 because it's parallel to this other line. What's the point I just told you right here? Told you it'd come up again. 0,6 or 6,0? If you're unsure, plot it. X-intercept of 6 is right here. Oh, that's 6,0. So don't just have to guess. Plot the thing. So the point is 6,0. Okay. Okay, go ahead. Start with your equation. Y minus y1 equals m bracket x minus x1. Substitute in, please. Go. This is kind of an easy one. So we should have got y minus 0, which is so nice and good for us. 3/4 is our slope, and minus 6. Okay. Multiply it. So y equals 3/4 x minus 6 times 3/4. Okay. How come I didn't write the minus 0 part? Because y minus 0 is y. Okay. What about 6 and 4? Can they cancel at all? What can you divide them both by? 2. So divide by 2 and you get 2 and the 3. So then when you multiply these together, what's 3 times 3? 9. So -9/2 is our intercept. And that would be okay to graph. It'd be okay. Jamie, question? Okay, it'd be okay to graph, but it's better that we don't have to. Okay. Any questions? Okay, next one. Read the question, tell me the slope, and tell me the point. Do you guys see the point? Y-intercept of 4, what's that point? Is it 4, 0, 0, 4? You need to know this. Slater, what do you think? 0, 4 is correct. Okay. How are we going to get the slope, though? Calculate. We're given that it goes through those points, so find m. So m equals what? 6 minus 2, 3 minus 1, 4/2, which is 2. But, what's that perpendicular word? Slope is perpendicular, so the slope doesn't equal 2. What does the slope equal? -1/2. Okay, so that's, now you're really combining your ideas from yesterday and today. Okay, so we find the slope, but we want the perpendicular slope. Okay, y minus y1 equals mx minus x1. Substitute in what you know. Oh, you're right, thank you. Do you really need to write the +0 part when you multiply? No, I just didn't want you guys to freak out. Okay, it does equal 0, so I'm just showing that, but I wouldn't even bother writing that really. Okay, so how are you going to move the -4? Yeah, +4. Well, that's easy because now you're done. 0 plus 4 is 4. That's an easy one. But the hard stuff was at the beginning. Knowing what your intercept meant and knowing how to find your perpendicular slope. Okay, the last one's going to be a little bit of a stretch now because it's kind of combining our ideas from this unit and our next unit. What kind of number would profit be? Is that good or bad? Good. Profit is going to be positive. What about a loss? Negative number. Now, just to let you know, when you graph this, you'll put money on the left and tickets will be on the bottom. So when you're finding your points, it'll be tickets first as your x value and money second as your y value. So what are the 2 points that we tell you in this question? Here's one, and there's the other. So find your 2 points. So this would be 450, oops, red. 450, 550. And this other one would be 250, negative 50. Okay. Yep. Because your tickets are your X value, so we sell 250 tickets. Your Y value is your money. Okay, so that's why I asked you that order. That's the weird part. We cover that more next unit. Okay. Okay, so find slope. Go for it. Now I put my units down. What is your slope telling you? $3 per ticket. That's the profit per ticket, right? You make $3 per ticket. Okay? Or the cost of a ticket could be as well. Right? So come up with your equation then. Y minus Y1 equals M bracket X minus X1. Man, I've written this down so much I know it really well. I sure hope you've been writing it because that helps you memorize it. Although it will be given to you on your formula sheet. So I'm going to use the first point. Okay, so go ahead, do your algebra now. So y equals 3x minus 800. Now if you graph this, what this looks like, it looks like you start here at negative 800, and then you go up by a slope of 3 over 1. Okay? Question for you. Yep, what's up?
You add the 550 to the other side?
Yep, I did add it. That's why I'm getting closer to 0. Yep. Yes, the weird stuff with negatives, right? Because where it's negative number. You guys good? Okay. Okay, so negative 800. Why do I start with a profit way down here below 0? Why am I taking a loss? Think about a raffle. How does that happen? Yeah, but why am I still negative though? Spent? What do I spend money for in a raffle? Prizes and tickets, right? It costs money to print the tickets. So the negative $800 is my setup cost. Okay, so that's my setup cost. What would this be right here? Right across 0. Not profit yet. It's not a loss, not profit. Break even point. Okay. Now we're going to look more at this next unit. This is just an introduction, but you can see all the graphing we're doing this unit leads right into the next unit, and that's why I'm collecting homework every single day for this unit because it's that important. Okay. All right. You have half an hour. Your homework starts easy, easy, easy. Get cracking. Go.